We take a look at the tail of the tape for this next bout in the middleweight division. Krasimir Mladenov, 28 years of age, 5'9", 185. His reach, 68 inches. His opponent, Brendan Kornberger, the Canadian, is 30 years of age, 6 feet tall, 185, and a 72-inch reach. This should be a very entertaining middleweight bout. Both fighters are inside the cage. Here's Jasakuro with the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. This fight is brought to you by Everlast Hydrate Elite. We're scheduled for 3 rounds in the World Series of Fighting middleweight division. And now, fighting out of the blue corner on my right, his record is perfect. 5 victories, 0 defeats. He stands 6 feet tall. He weighs 185 pounds. Fighting out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Here tonight, introducing Brendan Kornberger.
When looking at his record, so keep the fight on the feet by moving backwards and to the side to stay outside the range of his opponent. This will make it harder for his opponent to take him down. Use short combinations with movement right after throwing them.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent across the decagon, fighting out of the red corner. He is also undefeated with 11 straight victories, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 186 pounds, fighting out of Sofia, Bulgaria. Presenting Krasimir, the wrestler, Mladenov.
His nickname is the Wrestler, and his opponent has 4 knockout victories, so he needs to watch out for that. Stay on the toes and outside the opponent's reach. Wait for his opponent to attack and use that to set up a takedown. Once on the ground, use ground and pound into submissions.
When the decagon door closes, your referee is Chris Tognoni.
Emily gets things started here inside Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Normally this arena used by the great Britney Spears, but it was nice enough for her to loan it to us tonight. So here we go in the middleweight division.
Ready, then? Ready? Here we go. Fight.
Krasimir Mladenov, Brendan Kornberger. This should be entertaining, boss. One thing we will not be lacking inside the cage, power.
I think so too. I'm getting hungry right now, and suddenly I came up and I said that would be great to have a corn burger, but I know it's spelled different. But you know, it just gave me the idea maybe to try to make a corn burger.
That Dutch humor is just stellar.
It's stellar, right? People love that. I'm a horrible commentator when I do that.
So it's Kornberger that's coming forward on Mladenov. Remember, Mladenov, world-class wrestler in his 3rd appearance here at the World Series of Fighting. He's also mentioned that he is looking for a title shot. Everyone's looking for a title shot. Wow, Kornberger almost walked into that right hand.
That was not so smart. It was almost like he was loading up a left kick or something, or a left hook, by just walking in with his defense low.
Kornberger does have 4 finishes in his last 5 fights.
That's what he was trying to do.
He will set a very fast pace.
And there, the nickname, the Wrestler. We have it. Now, can Kornberger stop this takedown?
Well, if he does get to the ground, Kornberger does have very effective ground and pound, but let's not forget, boss, he took this fight, Brendan Kornberger, on just 2 weeks' notice after the injury to Jesse Taylor, who was scheduled to fight tonight. So you fight a guy like Mladenov, you obviously know you're going to be in for a long, grinding night. He's going to try to get this thing to the ground. How do you prepare for this guy?
Yeah, lots of stamina. And you know, if you have only 2 weeks, I don't know if you can load up on that stamina in that stamina department. No, Mladenov is actually from Bulgaria. And they have great wrestlers over there.
No question.
Climb up the fence. 3, climb up the fence. Hold his wrist. 3, climb up the fence.
Krasimir Mladenov out of Sofia, Bulgaria, now living and training here in Las Vegas. Seems like, boss, if you want to get serious about being an MMA fighter, you almost have to come to the fight capital of the world. There's a couple of other hot spots, but this is obviously one of the big ones.
Yep, they have a really good one. A bunch of them.
Big shots coming from Mladenov.
Yeah, but Kornberger standing. You know, nice balance here with Kornberger. Oh. Let's see if he can get back up again. Take the spirit away from his opponent. If every time if you get back up, you know, it does something to you mentally. Plus, you're wasting a lot of energy. The wrestler is. Take him down. Every time he has to carry that weight. Now, good wrestler, of course, like he uses a lot of momentum as well, so the weight is less. Still.
There it is
Oh!
again.
Look
Step
at
in,
that.
judo toss.
Like it.
Mladenov trying to get that side control. A little modified north-south.
Push to the fence. Push to the fence. Push to the fence.
Okay, Kornberger looking maybe for a single,
Grab.
but
Push, don't grab.
you know, against
He does a great job of
wrestling like that.
he does not stay on the ground long.
And you see, he still defended that knee. I always tell the people the same thing. Even if they hold your hands, you can still block it.
This is our game plan.
Oh, nice knee by Kornberger. Nice knee to the thigh. I love this. You know, those are going to hurt. We said it on the undercard, you know.
Right.
If you have like 3, 4 hard knees, like well timed with the kneecap, it's worse than a low kick. You can stop your opponent. Look at that.
Four big punches coming from Kornberger. Mladenov's had enough, so he shoots and grabs a single, unable to get the complete takedown though.
Our Canadian friends doing well.
Brendan. Towards me. Fall towards me.
Took a little bit of the steam maybe out of Mladenov. I want to say Mladenov. I like the uppercut hook with the same hand.
Good action by the big man up against the cage. Now back to the center.
Where's that specialty? Where's that special? Punch it in, yeah.
Oh!
Nice combination.
Nice. Yeah. He's got heavy kicks and knees. I like it.
Line up that right. It's coming over the top. Okay. Trying to draw it out. Draw it out. Yeah. Good. You're back
Yeah, now I
up.
can understand why he has 4 knockouts from his 5 wins.
Wow. Again, almost walked into that straight right of Mladenov.
That's the problem, you know. If he faces a good striker, that's a problem. Because then he will get hit. He really has to watch out.
Final 10 seconds of round number 1. This one's scheduled for 3. Krasimir Mladenov, Brendan Kornberger. We will have round number 2 when we return to Las Vegas live here on NBCSN.
Welcome back to an exciting round 2 between Krasimir Mladenov and Brendan Kornberger. Now, right now, I'm in the corner of Joe Condon, and you can see him warming up behind me. He is ready for what he's calling the opportunity of a lifetime. Unfortunately, the original opponent, Brian Cobb, got injured. Joe Condon stepped up on short notice. I talked to his coach, Joe Stevenson, and they said Condon's got one of the nastiest guillotines in the game, as well as knockout power. They feel like Johnny Nunez is going to be the one who's in for a surprise tonight.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Austin, you've been around the fight game long enough. Those things happen. Cobb actually in Las Vegas, did the press conference, ready to go, injured his knee. And so Condon, who was supposed to fight on the undercard, now gets bumped up to the co-main. Was supposed to fight Jimmy Spikuza, and now he is fighting Johnny Nunez. So a very big opportunity for him. We'll see if he seizes it. Back here, middle of round number 2, actually the start of round number 2, Mladenov and Kornberger. Boss, turn your attention to round number 1. Who do you like and why?
You know, yeah, I like Kornberger a lot. You know, I know Mladenov, he went for the takedowns more. He couldn't really do anything with it, so I don't think they should count it. And Kornberger was every time getting up and actually throwing a lot of strikes. He was doing great. What surprises me is when you see them next to each other, they say they're both 6 feet tall, but I don't believe that. I think Kornberger is a taller person. And he looks also heavy. It's maybe it's the way he strikes. Everything is hard. He has to watch out though with walking in his strikes.
Yeah.
His kicks, whether kicks or punches, sometimes he walks them in, and then he forgets his defense.
Twice now, Krasimir Mladenov has recognized Kornberger coming forward and has thrown a pretty
Look at
heavy-duty right. Trying for that toss one more time, and this time Kornberger's ready for it.
Yep, very nice. You know, you see him growing into the fight. At the end of the round, he started stopping takedowns better. He starts to feel his opponent now. Yeah, I was just going to say, push his head down. Before this, we saw he's probably going to look for a Kimura again. And I know he can't pull it off, but what he can do with a Kimura at that position, when somebody's on top of you, you can use it to throw him over, to reverse him. Not to make it into a sit. If you're lucky, you can throw him over and go to a straight armbar, but that will be a really cool move. It's possible. I've seen it happen.
Certainly variety tonight here at World Series of Fighting 17, boss. We saw anaconda choke earlier in the undercard, and we've seen a battle royale. Bryson Hansen and Rudy Morales going the distance. The fight before this one still to come. We've got Johnny Nunez, Joe Condon that Joey Varner reported on moments ago, and then of course the big show, Jake Shields taking on Brian Foster.
Kornberger coming forward the whole time. If he sets up his kicks with punches, that will be really good for him. Fake the takedown, came over top with the right hook. It's a smart thing to do. Oh, nice body shot. He should do exactly the same right now and add it right straight to the head. Most of the time, the opponent the second time is going to block that left to the body, which will open him up for a headshot. Susceptible for a headshot. Nice knee.
Wow, Mladenov just throwing Kornberger to the canvas and just misses when he rains down.
Yeah, he's got a lot of core strength. Kornberger getting back up. Wow.
No problem.
Yeah. You see, so those takedowns, do they still count? Because you would think that if you take it down and he does something with it for 30 seconds, then okay. Nice knee, but it was on the arm of his opponent. But he throws great knees.
Yeah.
I like it. Good power.
Kornberger, for a big guy, and he weighed in at 185, but boss, as you know, after they make weight, the weight probably goes up anywhere between 8 to 15 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
He moves really well for a big fella.
How did you come up with 8? I would say 10, 15. You go
I was trying to be more generous. I was, you know, maybe one burger instead of 2 after weigh-ins. The human body is an amazing thing.
It's an amazing thing. I like what Kornberger was doing. He went for the body and then to the head just a minute ago. You see a little wild on that. He needs to tighten that up a little bit more, and he will be even more effective. 25 seconds. And it doesn't feel like,
no.
You know, it's a great fight.
Yeah. Final 15 seconds here, round number 2. This one's scheduled for 3. It's Brendan Kornberger on the right side of your screen and Krasimir Mladenov. And this third round should be very interesting because both men very even. We'll have the third and final round when we return to Las Vegas. Some of the action from round number 2. And Mladenov, boss, I know you love it. Strong like bull. Just throwing Kornberger to the ground, and we are underway in the third and final round here in the middleweight division. Todd Harris, Boss Root, and Joey Varner, glad to have you with us. The place where it all started, World Series of Fighting number 1 3 years ago. Here we are, World Series of Fighting 17, live on NBCSN. Interesting fight for the first 2 rounds, and our Joey Varner sitting cage side had the opportunity to sit in and listen in with his best Bulgarian on Krasimir Mladenov. Joey, what did you learn?
Todd, you know what they're telling Krasimir is they want to see him put 2 or 3 jabs together. They say when he does that, Kornberger backs up and the takedown is there. They also said they want him to pay attention to the feet of Kornberger. They said Kornberger's bringing his feet together a lot, and when he does, once again, that takedown will be there.
So it's all about balance there, correct, Boz, for Kornberger? If he keeps those feet close together, it's going to make it easier for Mladenov.
That's it. You know, to take him down. It is. You have the wide stance. You need a wide stance, especially for a wrestler if they want to do a double leg. Of course, that is. If they switch to a single, well, then you're going to have that problem. That was nice.
Big left. And Kornberger getting wise to that step under toss by Mladenov, able to defend it again this time. Boss, final 3 minutes of this one. If you had to go out on a limb right now and make a decision who wins the fight at this point, who you giving it to?
I don't know. I think on the defeated bigger fighter, of course, has been Kornberger. But the takedowns count. Yeah. And now, of course, a wrestler will say, oh, of course they count, you know, because they're wrestlers. And that's why I say it. If you go to Japan and Brazil where they do fighting, it's not. You take somebody down, you do something with it, goes to you. Go at least look for a submission. At least look for a punch. But if you don't do anything with it, I don't know about that. Still, he takes the fight to the ground. Oh, it's a dominant position because he took him to the ground. Yeah, but you just gotta, that's a dominant position. If you do something with it, yes. Then you're dominant. Like now, if he starts raining punches, bam, 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 then I say, okay, takedown counts for him, 100% guarantee.
Coming up on the final 2 minutes of this fight, 3 rounds, and in the middleweight division, the wrestler Krasimir Mladenov certainly living up to his name, but he's done a lot of damage with his striking as Brendan Kornberger has walked into the right not once but twice. But he has lived to tell the tale so far here in round number 3 with 1:53 to go.
Yep, that was nice.
A boxing match breaking out.
He should use his hands more. He does have hands. He'll even it out. It's simple if you come back to it again, you know. If on the ground, sometimes you see a guy go for submissions on a wrestler, right? And the wrestler sits there. Who wins the fight then? Well, if you were to put the fight on the feet, and the person who constantly attacks, maybe he doesn't do damage, but he's constantly attacking, the fight goes to that person who's constantly attacking. Well, if you're on the ground and constantly attacking, that should count then as well.
Sure.
It's just logic. But this, what he's doing right now, throwing bombs, Mladenov, that changes the whole fight.
It'll be interesting. We hit that 1 minute mark 5 seconds from now to see which fighter decides to put on a flurry. That's usually the fighter whose corner feels their fighter needs this round. And we are down to that last minute here in the fight.
He needs the wide stance again. Now if he can grab his legs a little tighter together, he can clasp his hands around his knees and then go take him down. And with the wrestlers, I always say to everybody, what is the best art to go in fighting? Every interview I do, I always say wrestling is always the middle ground. I said it on this show many times, inside MMA many times. So people who go, oh, you're favoring the non-wrestlers. It's an unbelievable thing to say.
I'm going to call our pal Kenny Rice and make sure that you did say that every time.
Every time, I do it. We're going to count it.
And yet another takedown.
On the ground.
But does he do anything with it?
And was he successful with anything else on doing it? That's what I'm saying. And, you know, I do think that if he constantly takes him down and the other guy cannot slip in knees or punches, of course, then the wrestler was the most aggressive fighter. And he took him down.
This one will go to the judges after 3 rounds in the middleweight division. When we return to Las Vegas, we will have the official decision, and you'll see it live right here on NBCSN. Back inside Planet Hollywood Hotel and Casino after a great 3 rounds of middleweight fighting here at World Series of Fighting number 17. It now goes to the hands of the judges, and with that official decision, we send it inside the cage. Here's Jazz Securo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Lester Griffin scores this fight 29-28. Cardo Urso and Patricia Morse-Jarman score it 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Krasimir, the wrestler, Mladenov!
So Mladenov gets the win, and he runs his record to 12-0. That was a tough one, boss. Really could have gone possibly either way.
Either way, you know, in the last round, when he started really mixing his striking in there, and he was really the aggressor, I think that's the way you always should fight.
Yeah. Get ready. Listen. What you wanna do? If you don't strike first, that's when they gon' come at you. Yeah. And you know it's true. Don't let your life get worse. Being timid, that ain't cool. Nah.